Podcast. I'm Sean.
And I'm Ian, and this is the only podcast that says.
I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding, and even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, of good or evil, right or wrong. I met this 6-year-old child with his blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and another 7 trying to keep him locked up, because I realized what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil. Evil. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
You are a well-traveled man.
Seems like it.
You're a rambling man.
Yeah.
Ian's back fresh from New York Comic Con and deathly illness.
I coughed the whole time I was there.
People must have just been like, ugh.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm sure like in New York, first off, I want to say thanks to Nancy for stepping in for 2 weeks. We greatly appreciate that. It was fun. But, like, in New York, I'm sure there's still a lot of people who still wear masks out in public.
Yeah, you had to wear a mask in the venue.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was part of my problem.
Yeah.
Like, wearing the mask adds to my congestion.
Right.
And so, plus, it gets hot as fuck in that con.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big con. There's probably a couple thousand people in there.
More than that. I can give you the numbers here in a minute.
Okay, well, I'm saying... Okay,
well,
so,
yes.
Yeah, I mean,
you're right.
You're surrounded by a couple thousand people. Let's say it that way. I mean, there's
right.
probably 10,000 people in there at one time.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, but still, I mean, that's just got to be atrocious.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah.
But it was fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find out. Tickets were about $200 a piece.
Yeah.
But we had vendor badges, which was pretty cool.
Right.
But I mean, the Javits Center is huge.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was nuts. I mean...
Yeah.
Being behind the scenes was really cool.
Yeah.
Because we got there on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, the setup.
Yeah. And it opened Thursday. And Thursday was a slow day. Well, not... Just,
slow compared to
Friday.
Yeah.
And Saturday.
Yeah.
So it was cool because it was just, there were no carpets down.
Yeah.
Between the rows. It was just vendors trying to set up their shit.
Yeah.
They're, blowing up the gigantic Dragon Ball Z dude.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're seeing all this behind the stuff. And, like, we were there till 11 o'clock. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know how they're ever going to get this.
Yeah.
I mean, they still had to put up signage and...
Right.
Like, there was stuff that, like, Javits had to do.
Yeah, it's different. It's much different compared to going to, like, Steel City Con here locally.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's jam-packed.
Yeah.
And, I mean, and they jam vendors in there.
Yeah.
I mean, that place is jammed. But, like, I can't imagine, like, a massive place, I guess, and, like, the mass of displays, like... You said Studio Ghibli had a major presence. Yeah. Dragon Ball Z had a major presence.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was, Pokemon or...
Yeah, and then Funko had their own, like, haunted house set up. It was like an entire house inside of the Javits.
Yeah.
Which I had to get reservation tickets for that. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Yeah. But,
and there you are with our friend Mark.
Mark.
Chad. I'm sorry. Yeah, Chad.
Not Chad. Not
yeah,
Mark.
not Mark. Chad.
Yeah.
And Chad is, just got his own little booth.
Yeah, it's quite bigger than I thought it was. He had 2 spots.
Okay.
Not, I mean, together, but
Yeah.
big. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like there's Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
And like he had his own thing.
Yeah.
That tells you the size.
Yeah.
You know
You
what I
see the
mean?
size of the.
Yeah. So there was a lot of. That's pretty badass.
Yeah.
And that was gigantic.
Yeah. That's Gundam.
Yeah. There's the size of it.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, there was a lot of just the behind the scenes stuff, and like, so like they charge you. So they bring in your shit on pallets.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they charge you for that.
Yeah.
And so there's a bunch of lifters everywhere.
Right.
And it's like $1 per pound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like, so not only are they making money off the vendor for your vendor box, like for your vendor space, but they're also making money on transporting your shit in there.
Right. And you kind of have to pay it.
Yes.
Because, like, in all honesty, to go to a show like this, you're not just packing like 25 things. Like you're packing.
Yeah, it's 4
Freight.
days. Yeah, freight.
So yeah, I mean they're making another $1,000 off of
Yeah.
Chad because of all the stuff that they have to
And
bring
plus
in.
he has a lot of metal.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
not some of that it shit's heavy. Yeah. So yeah, I mean they're making a nice little extra buck off of him.
Yeah, so they're bringing in
But you
pound.
couldn't do it on your own because the place is so fucking big.
Yeah. So it was cool to see the behind the scenes stuff and how things are put together.
Yeah.
We walked in Thursday and they're ready to go.
Yeah.
Well, and it was cool. One of the coolest things about it was there were no lines for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, you were just able to go right in.
Yeah, they were like
vendor.
There you go.
Yeah.
Come on in. So you skip all the people. I mean, there was lines getting in.
Oh,
that
I'm
place.
sure. Yeah.
And people running around like crazy.
I mean,
trying to get their free bag.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's like for Steel City and the lines for that, so I can't imagine like
Yeah,
a San Diego or New York or
I don't even know.
WonderCon, like these bigger cons.
Yeah, because we would get there about an hour and a half before the show, and I know I could sort of see the people outside.
Yeah.
But the lines were immense.
Yeah.
Just an hour before.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, there were of course con exclusives and
Oh yeah.
stuff like that, but I don't know. I just didn't. I was there to kind of take everything in.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't even, like I said, I didn't even buy anything for myself.
Yeah, which is fun. I mean, you bought me 2 amazing things, and like you didn't get anything for yourself. What the fuck were you thinking?
I don't know. I don't know. I was worried about them, and
Yeah.
I didn't buy anything for myself. But yeah, it was a cool experience.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thursday was really nice.
Yeah.
And plus, you get to check out all the vendors before.
Yeah.
You
You get to
see
sneak
who was
peek.
selling and everything. And it was Thursday. Like I said, Thursday was nice because it was less crowded.
Yeah.
Friday was off the hook.
Yeah.
Like it was starting to get on my nerves.
Right.
And I had seen all the vendors. I'd gone down.
Yeah,
at least, I've walked at least 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And it was just, help Chad. But it was just too much. I think what was driving me crazy is people would just walk and they would just stop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you can't just stop at a throughway.
No.
This is the main hallway.
Yeah.
This is one of the main, there's like 2 main hallways.
Right.
Not hallway, but paths.
Yeah.
And they would just stop and get on the phone and look. I'm like,
Yeah.
go off to the sides to do that.
Yeah. No. People completely
Clueless.
Yeah.
And it just kind of absolutely
self-absorbed.
drove me nuts.
Yeah.
So there was that. But I think Friday there were just so many people that it started to wear on me.
Yeah.
I didn't need a Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
And like I didn't go to panels. I should have went to panels, but like we were actually busy. I mean, it wasn't like it's something I need to plan for in the future, but I didn't really see anything that really caught my eye.
Right.
You know, I did go spend some time down in Artist Alley.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. So I went down there for a bit, you know. So there was stuff I was doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
I wanted to see a little bit of New York too, and I got to do that.
Yeah.
Like every morning we went in, a couple hours here, and then we went out to New York, get some bagels or breakfast somewhere, and then
right
back to the con or street food, and because we didn't want to buy the shit in the con; it cost you arm and a leg.
Right.
And it's better to get the food outside anyways.
Right.
So yeah, it was cool. And then Saturday I spent mostly in Little Italy, Chinatown, and Soho. And yeah, good time.
Good.
Yeah, Saturday was off the hook.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
just craziness.
I can imagine.
Well, I was just going to a couple places and drinking and
Yeah.
playing pinball or whatever. It was taking Ubers everywhere. That's the only mistake we made was we stayed in Jersey.
Yeah.
And so Ubers were like double
Right.
because you had to pay the tunnel fee.
Right.
So it was like $16 right there.
Yeah.
The Uber only cost you like $16, but you add on the tunnel fee.
Yeah. Now you're doubling your money.
Correct. And then depending on what time you're leaving,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Right.
So those prices go up even more.
Right.
Or if you want to go into the east side, that's even more.
Right.
So, Uber, by the time you spent the money on Ubers, and shit like that, you could have stayed somewhere down there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They have these places called cubes where it's literally a space with 2 bunk beds and a shower.
Yeah.
And a little desk.
Yeah.
And that's really all you need. I mean,
Right.
I don't need the room.
Right, exactly. You're not trying to stay at a Motel 6 or anything.
No, I'm not supposed. Well, I'm not looking for an expensive motel to stay in either.
Right.
I mean, like, you could stay in Jersey for half the cost is what you would pay in Manhattan.
Right,
So,
but like you said, like once the fees to get into New York and everything, you might as well have just stayed in New York.
yeah. So,
Excuse me.
and so the con was really cool. They had some really unique stuff. They had, but then they had places, that were just like Steel City.
Yeah.
A lot of them were Steel City-like.
Yeah.
But then there was just a shit ton of vendors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
games. There were some
Yeah.
games there, but
I do think, I do think Steel City. When we started this podcast almost 10 years ago now, one of the things we talked about then was like what a tiny con Steel City was,
yeah,
and how we were hoping it would grow.
right,
Well, it did.
right,
It's massive. They put on 3 shows a year, and I feel like it went from being just a little toy show to being a full-on pop culture con.
Well, yeah, because when we first started going, it was garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a couple guests, and they had a couple guests there, and it was like it was almost like a dirt mall.
Yeah. It was the first one I actually went to, like the big guest was the Batmobile.
Yeah, yeah.
That was like a big get. They got somebody who had a bat, and I remember I got my picture taken in it, and inside of it, like it had the signatures of all the, Adam West, Burt Ward, Frank. I think the only one they didn't have was Burgess Meredith. They said by the time, they didn't get to Burgess before he died, but like they had Frank Gershwin, they had Cesar Romero's autograph on it,
Yeah.
like all these, luminaries who were in the Batman TV show. So that was like the big guest for the first time I went to that con was,
Yeah.
it was like the art. And it was like it was so small. Like, it was still, and this is how long ago it was still in the Expo Mart.
Right.
And it was like one corner of the Expo Mart.
Yeah, it wasn't big at all.
Yeah. Like, it didn't even take up the whole side.
No.
You know? So, I mean, it's expanded and grown since then to a very large, very popular convention.
Right.
But still nothing even close to size of what you experienced, or even some of like the bigger ones around like C2E2 in Chicago or something. But it's like,
yeah, it's big.
right. But like from a vendor standpoint, I do think like they do get some interesting vendors who do come in to sell their stuff.
Oh, it's Steel City?
Yeah, Steel City.
All right.
But like again, but you're not getting a presence from Marvel, DC, Studio Ghibli.
Oh yeah, you're not getting those.
You're not getting that type of stuff. But like the small time vendors that they get, quote unquote, I think they do a very good job of getting a variety of stuff. And
oh yeah,
yeah,
I think so too. I think that Steel City's a good con.
Yeah,
it's become a good con. But this was just on another level. Like,
yeah,
I've been there before.
Right, but yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, it's such a massive scale.
Yeah.
And with, like, big vendors coming in.
Yeah.
Like, huge vendors. Like,
right.
Mainstream huge vendors.
Yeah.
Like Funko and,
right.
All these,
like,
video games and
like we were talking about, like, the money that your friend Jared spends and the stuff that he's looking for. He wouldn't go to Steel City for.
Nah, he must just go to Steel City to see Chad.
Yeah.
Like, the art there, even the prints and stuff like that, he's not...
Right.
There's no artist to go there either, really.
Yeah.
There's not really huge artists there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm walking down Artist Alley.
Yeah.
And you're seeing, like, the big dogs.
Right. Yeah. Whereas, like, I mean,
Like
I know a couple of times before he passed away, George Perez came to Steel City Con.
Uh-huh.
I mean, and he's the guy who drew that famous cover from Crisis on Infinite Earths, where Superman's carrying Supergirl's dead body.
Yeah.
Like right there, like that's that famous. Like he did that. He did a lot of stuff with the Teen Titans, with Marv Wolfman. I know a couple of times they had Denny O'Neil,
Okay.
who in the 70s
Uh-huh.
and in the 80s, he's the guy who drew Batman. Like the Batman that you and I like recognize, like that the look of the Batman and everything. That was Denny O'Neil who drew that. So like they've had artists, but they're usually artists they're not the current guys.
Yeah.
That are doing the work. That these were usually guys who have like are from the past.
Right.
So
I mean, and that's the difference. In Steel City, you're getting at New York, you're getting like the Jim Lees and the Sylvester.
Yeah.
That kind of
yeah.
major powers.
Todd McFarlane was there.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting like these huge people.
Yeah.
That are just like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was kind of jaw dropping in a sense, like you're, I'm walking that close to, one of my hero artists. You know what I mean? Like
exactly,
I'm that close to him.
Yeah.
Like the last time I went to the New York Comic Con, I was in like touching distance to Stan Lee. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
So yeah, it was interesting. There was just a lot of stuff, put it that way.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool. Definitely a cool experience.
Yeah.
A little different this time, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was a good time. New York was, like I said, off the hook. Outside of the con.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I had some great fucking pizza.
Yeah.
I did. I had New York pizza.
Yeah.
One night, which was good.
Yeah.
And then I had, like, upscale pizza. Like, oven fired.
Yeah.
Fresh mozzarella.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Like, the tomato sauce was so fresh, it tasted like tomatoes.
Yeah.
It wasn't sauce. It was like the bread, the crust. You ate it down to the crust.
Yeah.
They have these oven-fired pizzas. They give you a pizza,
Yeah.
4 slices, 4 good slices. That's what you get out of your, it's personal. Not personal. It is personal, but it's your own pizza.
It's big enough that you can share it, but small enough that...
You can eat it on your own.
Yeah.
And the pie was fantastic. I mean, so good. So, good bagels. That's what I was really going for.
Yeah.
I wanted authentic bagels and cream cheese and, that kind of thing. So, I got that. And, it was cool.
Good.
Not as much cosplay. I'm sure there was more cosplay on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
And there was some on Friday. Don't get me wrong. There was a lot. But probably not as much as there would be on,
the weekends when it's really popping.
Yeah. But, it was a good time.
Good.
Yeah. And, of course, there was a shit ton of comics.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a ton, of course. And that's what it's there for.
Is it hard at a show like that? Because I've been to enough shows with you to know you will flip a box.
All right.
You will flip several boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you will stand for an hour. Look, I mean, God bless you for it. I can't do it, but I know, like, when you're doing it, you are in heaven.
Yeah, I know. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Right. So, like Steel City, like, when you find that guy, you will stand there going through everything that they have.
Mm.
I've watched you do it. Is it hard?
Yes.
Because of the amount of people, like the congestion, for you to just stand there and flip a box like you love to do?
It is. It's trying to open the door. That's what she's doing.
Yeah. Keep talking.
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
she got it.
And so it is because there's so many people there.
Yeah.
I really found this dealer that I like quite a bit.
Yeah.
There, and he had a smaller space.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't have a huge spot, but he had like 6 or 7 boxes.
Yeah.
Big longs. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm talking
long boxes.
big boxes.
Yeah.
And I wanted to spend more time with him because, like, every single comic he had was nice.
Yeah.
And it was at a decent price.
Yeah.
And then he had, like, maybe a thing as big as that doorway there that had shelving hanging comics.
Yeah.
Like, that were worth the money.
Yeah.
Like, $3,000, $4,000
Yeah.
comics he had back there with him.
Right. The ones that are slabbed and stuff.
Yeah. And some that weren't slabbed.
Yeah.
But he was drawing these bigger money buyers. Like, there was, I saw, I saw a $50,000 comic there.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, there's these big dogs that are there, like corporate auction house type big dogs.
Right.
And then you had the smaller guys, which had, they had some pretty expensive comics too.
Right.
And those were mostly slabbed. But then you had this guy, but I kept noticing with this guy, these people in like rolling briefcase style things kept coming up, and they'd open up, drop $2,000 and buy books from them and put them nicely in the
I've seen that before
padded.
too. Yeah. Those guys with like the it looks like a
suitcase
on wheels. They got the long arm that they kind of carry, but it's like
military grade.
Yeah.
Where you digitally get in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they've got a couple $1,000 or
more.
Yeah, in that case.
Yeah.
Just in comic books.
Yeah, and then you see these guys. It's interesting the people you see, and then you see these guys that have like the same type of case, right?
Yeah.
But then you see them pull out a list.
Yeah.
And someone has sent them there to go buy.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And so they have a list like Spider-Man number 39, Daredevil number 82, 87, 112. And they have a check mark on the stuff that they got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'll say like, 7.0 or higher. That kind of shit. I'm like, holy fuck, man.
How fucking hooked up do you have to be like, I'm sending somebody to this con to buy this shit for me? because I don't want to go myself.
Yeah.
Like, how hooked up do you have to
Yeah,
be?
I know.
You know, that's just nuts.
It is nuts. But, like I said, it was cool. It was, so yeah, I did get to flip through a couple of his boxes.
Yeah.
But then it just got too fucking crowded.
Yeah.
And, I got away. I almost picked up a Peter Parker #1, and he had it on the back wall listed for $60. It's not worth that much. Well, the one that was back there was, because it was really well. It wasn't slabbed, but it was in really good condition.
Right.
And he was like, "Well, if you're not interested in there, you know, I got some more #1s in here, you know,
Yeah.
that aren't this quality, but they're still #1s." I was like, "That's up my alley." You know, that's I don't need
a 9.5.
No, and I don't need it slabbed, and
Yeah.
I don't want that. You know,
a 5, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know, and but he was like, "Yeah, they're around here somewhere," and he knew where they were, and he was flipping. I was like, "Man, I must have sold them all. They were right here next to the other Spideys." I was like, "I must have sold them." You know.
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, thanks." You know, it's really nice dude. But everything in this box, like you see the big boxes, and you'll see like, you know, just garbage. Most of the boxes are garbage. I mean, I'll pick out the good ones.
Yeah.
And I can find the good finds.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah.
3/4 of that box is garbage.
Yeah.
You know. And but you know, he had all the comics in his boxes were like high quality, and old.
Yeah.
And like good ones to try to pick up.
Yeah.
You know, so he was completely worth it. Like everything in that box was over $25.
Right.
Versus like you go to these other cons, and not even other cons. I mean, there was places there that had the same boxes.
Right, but that's like
dollar comic.
Yeah.
You know,
all comics in this box are a buck.
Yeah, 10 for 25.
Right. It's like shit you've never heard of, like Wild Ones #1 from, you know, Generation X distributor, and you're just like, oh, this looks awful.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like he didn't have any of those.
Yeah.
His was all like
shit you knew.
Yeah.
Shit that
and
old.
old.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just they were nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I liked about this guy. He's like he had some really good comics.
Yeah.
I guess they got crowded out. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Like I had to separate myself for a while.
Right.
And that's usually when I went to New York or went outside where the food trucks were, pulled up a corner somewhere and just sat for a while because I just couldn't deal with.
Yeah.
There was just too many people.
Yeah.
Mostly on Friday that was going on.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, fuck, I saw a Turtles one.
Yeah.
That like a 9.8.
Yeah.
I was like, holy fuck.
Like the OG black and white.
Yeah. Yeah, Eastman and Laird. Yeah, it was just incredible looking. I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
God, I want that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Because those original Turtle books were so good. Before it got like real cartoony.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I saw like it's amazing the stuff that you see, and like I was pretty impressed with, I'd say half of the statues that I saw there, like statues like or toy like not toys but busts and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The stuff that you would see in the comic shop. But on a massive scale.
Right.
And there was this one company that did some really good stuff where it was just like, man, that Scarlet Witch looks really fucking good.
Yeah.
And then you have some other stuff that looks just really bad.
Right.
You know. So you had to watch. But the stuff that was good, they knew they had good stuff. So, you know, their shit was like $2,000 and stuff.
Yeah, General Giant and shit like that.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, so like I said, I had a good time.
Cool.
Yeah, it was good. It was just good being part of it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, that was a good old Comic-Con. and I'll go again. Because I really like,
Yeah.
I'd like to look into more books next time.
Right.
And like I said, I didn't really look at any prints just because I don't have wall space for prints anymore.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
got
say
enough shit.
I've got prints of stuff that's just like sitting.
Yeah, it's such a cool print, and it needs framed, and it needs up, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, I discovered something.
Okay.
I've gone down a rabbit hole.
Okay.
It's called Puddle's Pity Party.
Okay.
And it's this guy with an amazing voice. But he's dressed as like a Pavarotti clown, like a sad clown. I'm not going to show you the video.
Yeah.
But just listen to this. He does this stuff and it's amazing. Are you kidding me?
All the small things, true care, truth brings. I'll take one lift, your ride, best trip. Always.
It's like hypnotizing me.
You'll be at my show, watching, waiting, commiserating. Say it ain't so. I will not go. Turn the lights off. Carry me home.
I'm not gonna what I found. Like, it was like recommended me on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
He does a cover of Crazy Train.
Oh, really?
It's like completely slowed down, and it's like it's amazing. Like he has this like this beautiful voice, and like he's out of LA, I guess. And I mean, you know, you gotta have a gimmick for everything, but like he's like doing these covers of these songs and like changing them up. I mean, that rearrangement of all the small things. That's an amazing rearrangement.
Right.
You know, and then like you throw his voice on top of it, and it's like, you know, oh wow, this is impressive. Like, I mean, and like I said, his version of Crazy Train, it's like there's an accordion in the background, like not like a Weird Al accordion. It's like, you know, a very you know, dark accordion. You know, it's. If it wasn't for the fact that it was a guy dressed as a clown, I would tell you to look this shit up. But I know it's gonna fuck with you.
Yeah.
But for everybody else out there, look this shit up. It's Puddle's Pity Party. It's mostly covers of songs, but he does these amazing rearrangements of them. Some he doesn't even rearrange. Like he did one for Telephone Line by ELO.
Yeah.
I mean, it's rearranged a bit, but that's a slow song to begin with, and he is so good. Like, I was just like, oh, shit. I mean, I love this song, but you just kind of almost made it better somehow. How did you do that?
Okay.
Yeah. So, this is something I discovered the past couple weeks while you've been away that I'm just, like, infatuated with, is Puddle's Pity Party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. So, let's talk about the thing we've both watched. It's the opening weekend for Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
I'm going to give the floor to you. I want to hear your thoughts on this because you are the connoisseur and this is your franchise.
Yeah.
Like, this is...
Let's pause so I'll make sure the other people in the other room don't hear what we're talking about.
Okay. All right, so... Spoilers for Halloween Ends.
Yeah. Let's see. I know I'm gonna get shit for this,
Okay.
but I don't think I liked it as good as I liked the second one.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right. No, I get that.
For some reason on this planet, people hated the second one, and I actually liked it. It fit for me.
Yeah.
it was a continuation.
Right.
It truly fit for me. And there were some scenes that were like, but come on, man, that firefighter scene.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, there was a lot of stuff in the second one that I did like. Now, I don't think any of them can equal that first movie.
No, that first movie
Was incredible.
Yeah.
And so, this movie, I liked it, but I thought it fell short on a couple things.
Right.
Like, where do I start? The opening sequence was a shocker. I was like, wow, what am I in for?
Yeah.
I was like, holy fuck.
Right.
And I was like, how does this connect?
Right.
Because I was like,
I was
am
in the
I
same
watching
way.
am I watching the same movie?
Yeah.
Did we go in the wrong theater?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I was in the same boat. I'm like, because I'm just waiting for him to show up, and he does. But I mean, shit goes down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I even said, holy fuck, in the theater. I was like, holy fuck, when that kid hit the floor. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that was better than some of the Final Destination shit I've seen.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
And it started going down. So I thought it dragged somewhat, getting to the point.
Yeah.
I get burn this town down. I understand where this kid was coming from.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Completely.
Right.
So that storyline was good, but it just didn't connect to Myers for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like when he did make his connection with Myers, like for a while I didn't even know if Myers was really existed.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was a figment of his imagination.
At first, that's what I thought.
Right.
So it played well on the senses there because you didn't know. So it kept you guessing a little bit.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? But at the same point, what didn't make a lot of sense to me is when he went in to get the mask. And I'm like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. The whole thing's reaching. But when he went in to get the mask and he got the mask off him, I was like, that's reaching.
Yeah.
Like, they ain't going to give up that mask.
Right.
So, and to think that they didn't find him in the sewer.
Yeah. Like, he's been down there for 4 years.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there were a few things about, like, the thing that drove me nuts was that scene where the kid lures the cop into the sewer.
Yeah.
And like Myers attacks him and like gets thrown off like he's like this feeble old man, which I'm kind of buying. He's been in the sewer, probably eating rat for 4 years, and he'd be a feeble old man at this point. Like I get it.
He's already old.
Yeah, but then like when he stabs me, like, all of a sudden he gains his power back.
Yeah, but
like,
that was
I was a little bit like.
Yeah, I get that, and like that kind of goes back to the mythos of 5.
Yeah,
and the later on ones, which I was that's what I liked so much about. That's what I liked about so much about the first one and the second one.
It kind of deletes this.
It kind of deleted all that.
Yeah,
he did. It's almost like he regained power from killing. I understand that whole thing. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But the first one was they broke it down so good that, it was like, man, this guy's been in an institution.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And the photography on that first move, and even the scene, we've talked about it, him being chained to his outside time. That whole sequence was one of the best cinematography-wise shot things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just really well done. And so I thought it missed the points on that. Okay? And then all of a sudden it like all of a sudden Haddonfield turned into like inner city Chicago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I didn't see that because the thing with Haddonfield was what they always showed was like this like perfect little town and had the hardware store and you know, the
Yeah.
school and had the innocence of,
Yeah.
you know, how trick-or-treating and, you know,
Yeah.
that whole thing, right?
Right.
And all of a sudden, you know, we're in the fucking ghetto. In a sense.
Yeah.
You know, and so I didn't really like, and Haddonfield apparently has a homeless problem. And it
Yeah.
was just kind of like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it was, it's like a side of Haddonfield that, I don't know, like I didn't think existed. So I
Yeah.
had a little trouble getting over that hump.
Right.
And I think the biggest hump that I had trouble getting over was, it was Halloween and there was no trick-or-treating whatsoever in that town at all.
Yeah.
Did you see one trick-or-treater in that entire town?
No.
Through the whole movie.
No.
It's Halloween night.
Yeah.
There's no trick-or-treat.
Right.
None. Nothing.
Right.
There wasn't even really houses dressed.
Right.
The only trick-or-treating you saw was at that party.
Right.
That's the only thing you saw even close to resembling Halloween.
Right.
Which I thought was even odder. So, from an aesthetic point of view, I thought it missed the mark there. Because the whole thing about Halloween, it happens on Halloween night.
Right.
The innocents are out getting their candy.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So, I found that kind of hard to believe. You know?
Yeah.
It wasn't pleasing to me. I even looked at one of the girls one time. I said, "Isn't it Halloween night?" I
Yeah.
was like, "There's nothing going on at all.
Yeah.
Nothing."
Yeah.
So I had a hard time with that. I had a hard time with him falling off that bridge without injuring himself more than he did too.
Have a dislocated shoulder at least.
Something
Yeah.
like it's not something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did I like Myers? Yes. Did I like the look of Myers? Yes. And when Myers was dressed, he looked good. Even the kid looked good when he put on the mask.
Yeah.
I loved the whole junkyard scene, and like when it got to the junkyard scene, I was finally like, "Wow, okay, now we got a Halloween movie."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Even though it's not Michael, but we still got a Halloween movie.
Yeah.
It's here. You know, I'm good. This is what I want.
Right.
You know. So, yeah. I mean, from the junkyard scene to the end, I liked.
Yeah, like the last 45 minutes it picks up and
Yeah, and it's fine.
yeah.
And I liked Laurie's evolution too. You know what I mean? That badass was still in her.
Yeah.
And when she was like, "You thought I was going to commit suicide? Come on."
Yeah.
You know? It's badass. She shot the pumpkin. I was
Yeah.
like, that's awesomeness.
Yeah.
And the fight scene in the kitchen was amazing.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Oh, man. I was like, man, I love seeing her get beat up.
Yeah.
I mean, like, literally, I mean, that's what's going to happen to her.
Right.
I mean, she's a strong woman, but
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, she's going to get fucking thrown around.
Right.
And they showed that. And I know that sounds twisted that I'm saying that I like that, but it felt more realistic.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I get that kid. I get where he was coming from. I get that evil had gotten inside of him. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then I found the stuff with the granddaughter kind of got a little unbelievable because, you know, I mean, I know the kids dealt with a lot. Don't get me wrong.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't think that this kid, when it went, "Let's burn the place down," especially since she loved her grandmother so much,
Right.
and she always wanted to include her grandmother, and
Right.
like, this is grandma, and,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
yeah, it just didn't make, plot-wise, it just didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Right.
And what's his name? Like, I like the cop, the guy from Armageddon.
Yeah.
I love that character, but they portrayed him like an 85-year-old man.
Yeah.
And I couldn't. That was hard for me to get past too.
Right.
Like he almost became too old
Yeah.
for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like too old. It's like between that second movie. It's like between the second movie and this movie. It's like he gained 15 years on his soul.
Yeah.
You know, I was
Oh,
ready
yeah.
for his fucking dentures to fall out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I like that actor, and I like
Right. I like him as an actor too.
just listening to him
Yeah.
is soothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I like how he talks.
Yeah.
You know, the way his inflection, how he speaks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I had some problems with it. Did I think it was good? Yeah, it was an okay Halloween movie.
Yeah.
Not as good as the first one in this series. And not as good as the first 4 in the original series.
Right.
Because I still think Halloween 4 is a really good movie. I do.
Right.
I think The Return of My Eye, that's just a good movie.
My biggest problem, and I enjoyed it overall. Like, let me say that. But my biggest problem is, I just wanted this to be the story between Michael and Laurie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what the trilogy I felt like needed to represent. I felt like, even though, like, in the second one they really never came face to face, it was still their story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like the thing I wanted the most was, like, I liked that Laurie had moved on. You know, that she was in a home, not a trap.
Yeah.
You know, like, there were things about, like, okay, this is where she would be. She'd be trying, you know, especially for her granddaughter.
Yeah.
To make this life as normal as possible and not be the crazy woman that everybody thinks she is. So I like that aspect of her. Like, I don't know how I wanted the story to go, but I wanted it to be like them. Like, at the end it was.
Yeah.
Like, that, and that's what, like, that fight, what's what makes it so good is it's them at the end. It's those two. This is what it's come down to.
After all these years.
Yeah, after all these years, and she finally, you know, puts him down.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing I loved was, like, we're not done. Like, that whole, like, procession through the town with him on the carcass on the car and everything. Like even like the cops, like, this isn't how things are done, and that sheriff shows up and like, it is tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, like, yeah, and at the end when she's like, you know, there's no tombstone, there's no memorial, there's nothing. Evil has been eradicated.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I like that at the end. I like that, like, that final shot of, like, her office with the mask sitting there.
Yeah.
Like, that makes sense to me because it's kind of like Batman with his trophies.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's her trophy. I survived this. This is my reminder that I survived this.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like all that part, like, made, like, I liked a whole lot more than the middle of the movie because, in all honesty, I could care less about this fucking kid.
Yeah.
Like, if he had been in all 3 movies,
Right.
if it, like you're throwing this character at me in the 3rd movie, the 3rd act of your trilogy, and you're expecting me to care about his fall into evil, I just didn't. Now, if he had been in the 1st movie and we moved along with him, maybe I would have.
Right.
But I just didn't have...
You weren't invested in him.
Right.
And, like, I just really didn't care.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you weren't invested in this character. And there was just a lot of him.
There was.
You know what I mean? And it was just like, that's not why I came to see this movie.
Yeah.
I want more Laurie Strode.
Yeah.
I want more... Don't tell me another saga. Tell me to finish this
Right.
out. And so, yeah.
So, like, there were things I liked. I mean, you're right. The beginning was shocking.
Oh.
The opening, the cold open before you get to the pumpkins.
Yeah, I wonder if the pumpkins were the pumpkins represented in each movie they've done.
I think so, yeah. And then, I mean, you look at, you know, like the opening of the movie with Laurie kind of explaining everything. You see her writing the book, like everything about all that stuff I liked.
Mm-hmm.
It was just this character that you've inserted.
All right.
That I understand the point, and I appreciate you're making an effort to not just go down the same road you always go down.
Yeah.
Like, and that was the same with the second movie. You tried changing it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You tried changing the formula. The town is going to evil dies tonight.
Yeah.
You know, that whole thing. Like there was something, and the hysteria that would cause, like the mob mentality that would create.
That's what I liked about that.
Right. There was like things like in that second movie, like I appreciate because you're trying to tell the story, but you're trying to include something different in it. And that's what you did in the third movie. Unfortunately, in the third movie, what you tried to include, I really didn't care about.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
You know, so what I cared about was like that ending.
Yeah.
That confrontation.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think we should have had more of that leading up to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, it's been 4 years, nobody's seen Michael. She's moved on, but now she's starting to, like, get paranoid.
Yeah.
You know? He's here. He's coming. I know he is. I can feel it in my bones. You know? And the granddaughter's like, I think you're insane. He's gone. You know?
Yeah.
And then you get to the end and you get this final confrontation.
Right.
You know? So I think overall, like, it was just an okay movie.
Right.
But it gave me something at the end that, like, to me, saved it.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the last 45 minutes were great.
Yeah.
Even with him killing people, I still liked it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he was doing it Myers' way.
Right.
You know, which I liked. Yeah, I don't know. I like how she held his hand until he died.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So, it was alright.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best thing I've ever seen.
No, me neither.
But, you know, it was movie worthy for me because I saw the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I watched it on Peacock, but Nancy went out with friends and saw it in IMAX yesterday. And she enjoyed the heck out of it, she said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, there were parts of it that I really liked, but there was just... I probably won't watch it again for a while.
Yeah.
Like, I just watched the second one last night. And that's been like third or fourth time I've seen that.
Right.
The first one I've seen, I don't know, 10 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just kind of weird.
Next year I might watch them. Like, I might take a year and watch all three right in a row.
Yeah.
And see how I feel about them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. I think the first one's going to, like, no matter what, I'm going to watch that first one and be like, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was, dude.
You know?
And, you know, it's funny, on the first one, you're watching it, and like, when shit turns wild in that house,
Yeah.
and then the music kicks in, and the fucking bars come through, and the house starts burning, I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah.
That is the best game of Mousetrap I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and when the surprise when the daughter pulls out, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm like, this is fucking mind blowing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Grandma taught me how. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
this, like, I'm getting chills now. It was like the epitome
Yeah.
of, you know, like, what you want. You know, it was just,
Like,
especially when the music hit. When that music started going, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh.
Like, I'm glad they did this trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope, I mean, I don't know how you feel, but I hope this puts the character to rest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, I almost wish they had just finished with that movie. Like I almost wish that was the ending.
Yeah.
Like, because, like, it was such... Like, you're right, it was such a great game of Mousetrap.
Oh, man.
You know?
And, like, going into the second movie, I was like, you know, they're in the back of the car and this, that, and the other, and all of a sudden you start seeing the fire trucks, and you're like,
Right.
oh, man, I fucking completely get that.
Yeah.
Because they're going to fucking get in there and put out the fire.
Right. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're going to fucking save his ass, and that's
Yeah.
how he's going to get out of the fucking goddamn thing.
Right.
But when this fireman...
yeah.
It's still unbelievable.
That's one of the best, just flat out killing scenes. Like, of mass murder.
Well, then they accompanied that later on in the movie when he started killing all them town people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought that was badass.
Right.
I thought that was wicked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, oh, that's good shit. This is Michael Myers right here.
Yeah.
And I never got that in this third movie.
Right.
Until the kitchen scene.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, 4 people, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But and I like the killing of the DJ. I appreciated the tongue on the record.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
And I understand, that kind of shit.
Right.
But yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was just so good. That first, it's like I said, I like the first and second.
Yeah.
I hadn't forgotten too. In the second, they paid homage to Halloween 3.
Yeah.
Which I forgot about with the masks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty badass.
I didn't appreciate the kid in the mask killing people with that dumbass mask.
Yeah.
I didn't. I couldn't get into that.
I mean, it was just like the character was just like.
And why would Michael Myers show him? Like, why would Michael Myers become a mentor?
Yeah.
I mean, I have that.
Yeah, like
that's a gigantic.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. Like, I see the evil in you, and I'm going to bring it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't think like that. Yeah. He's like a reptile. He just kills.
I need to pass on what I've learned.
Yeah. Was he in that fucking cave jacking off like John Rambo? What was he doing for fucking 4 years?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
I didn't understand that. So it was just a hard pill to swallow.
There's a lot of shit in the middle of that movie that makes me go, but I get the payoff in the last act.
Yeah, the last act pays off.
Yeah.
But I just didn't really care about the storyline between him and her.
Yeah.
It just didn't fit.
No. No, not at all. I agree.
I mean, it would have fit if Michael Myers killed him.
Yeah.
Coming after him or something like that.
Right.
But it just didn't fit. It just didn't fit.
Yeah.
So. No.
Yeah.
And that woman cannot act. The bartender.
No. She was awful. She was bad.
Bad.
Yeah.
Like terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I like that picture on the wall at Lori's house of the 3 of them, the 3 friends.
yeah, that was nice.
That was cool too.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, there was moments like that. I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So, anyway.
So
those are my thoughts.
Okay. Have you
Yes. Rings?
rings? Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
What? You got problems?
No, I don't have problems, but like, man, that was rough.
Yeah. I didn't see the Sauron coming.
No, neither did I.
I didn't. It was a good twist.
Yeah.
I was like, this makes sense. And, her Spidey sense went off. That makes sense too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I couldn't understand is like he just split like a bitch. Like he could have forged that shit himself.
Well, I wonder. Like, I mean, to me the thing becomes like, okay, so now the elves have their 3 rings. What? There's 5 that have to go to the dwarves, and 9 to the kings of man.
Yeah.
So we're going down that path.
Right.
But it's also like, what I think is interesting is kind of like they've tried very hard to position him as that. I'm not trying to destroy the world. I'm trying to heal it.
Yeah.
Guy, like he has the best intentions. They're trying to position him like Thanos, where he's like, like, oh well, maybe he has a point.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's Sauron. He's just the epitome of evil.
Yeah.
But like they positioned him in this way, like even like the things he talked about, like I'm a good guy. I'm the hero. I'm the and I'm going to make up for the mistakes that I've made.
Yeah.
And like, really? And I thought that was kind of interesting. I liked that the others were like those three, like were like, yeah, you're Sauron. We're here to take you home. And he's like, no, I'm Gandalf. He didn't say it, but he, I'm good. But I mean, like, it's like this thing of like, well, clearly that's Gandalf. Like, and like at the very beginning of the episode, where they're like, yeah, you're Sauron. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Well, I thought, at first I thought maybe he was.
Yeah.
And like, just because of the fire wasn't hot to touch, and he can move in it. But also, Gandalf is what? What's his title?
I can't remember.
But it has something to do with fire. And
right.
Stuff like that. But I thought it was Gandalf. And then they were like, Sauron. And I was like, all right, if this is where they want to go with it.
I literally said out loud, boy, did we get that one wrong.
Right.
Because I'm buying into it. Like, I'm
But then
I'm taking the hook.
Oh, and he was like, I'm good. And I was like, that's my Gandalf.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. And finally, he awakened.
A little bit.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, all right. So he's got some powers.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got rid of them fools.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that little speech he gave to her before they went out on their journey almost like crushed me.
It was very Gandalf-esque.
It was, but it brought me to him again.
Yeah.
An adventure. I was like, oh, Gandalf.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was right there.
Take me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And again, we talked about, like, earlier, this explains his affection for the halflings.
Yeah.
For the hobbits.
Yeah.
Because, they literally saved him.
Exactly.
He understands, like, I find that hobbits are capable of the most incredible things.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they brought back your memory, apparently.
They saved your soul.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you could have been something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that part of it. I've always loved that side of the story, this whole series.
Right.
And I find that that's what I'm drawn to the Rings for.
Right.
Is that story. But I'm also drawn to Elrond and the dwarf. Yeah. And that storyline was really good. Yeah. Is wherever they're going with that.
Right. No, I agree.
I mean, when that dwarf is crying.
Yeah.
Throwing his true emotion out there.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because he loves him so much.
Right.
Yeah.
So. Like that confrontation with his father.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like, I love him like he was fired in my mother's own womb.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, and he was like, blasphemy!
Yeah. Yeah, the king was like, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Fucking pointy-eared bastard. Yeah, he wasn't having any of it.
No.
So, but I liked it. Do you know what I mean? I liked how Sauron was fucking with her a little bit, with her brother. I like how her dagger was used to make the rings.
Yeah.
Which made sense.
Yeah. I like it, the not in the final episode, but I think the episode before, like the leaf it makes that journey all the way down to the bottom, and there's the Balrog.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, we're in Moria.
Yeah. The Mines of Moria.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna go all the way down and start growing a tree.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
No. Yeah, that was a good little add-in.
Yeah.
And people had problems with. I remember in that second episode too, where they were like, "Did they have to really print out Moria or whatever?
Mordor.
Mordor? Did they have to really print that out on screen?" Well, maybe.
Yeah.
For some people that don't know the.
Right.
You know.
One, assume that nobody, but also like
Who the fuck cares?
But also like the thing it was to me, like it was like it's remarking the map.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Exactly.
You know, this is no longer the Southlands. This is Mordor.
Yeah.
You know, so like I had no problem with that. Like that worked for me.
Right.
Very much so.
Yeah,
like,
it was
like,
remarking the map.
You know, so
Yeah, the people are just fucking so weird about shit.
yeah, I agree.
I mean, truly, come on.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with that statement. You know,
I mean, give me a break.
yeah,
But, so, yeah, I'm looking forward to more,
yeah. I know they're working on season 2 right now.
I want to see more of the elf.
Yeah.
Did he live?
Yeah,
He had to have lived.
he lived. Yeah,
I don't remember.
yeah. The guy is
he
in love with the guy's in love with the human.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lived, and I think he was part of like escorting what was left of that town
Yeah.
to their new location, and
Anyway.
yeah,
So, yeah, I mean, I like this series. And I really like the stuff with Gandalf.
yeah. I mean,
I find that whole thing intriguing.
right. I mean, I thought that was cool. I liked this different brand of hobbits.
Yeah.
I liked
I like how she came back and they had already packed her backpack.
yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
Like I liked Galadriel.
Yeah.
I thought her character, like I like her character a lot, and like it's like that thing of like people are like, oh, she's a Mary Jane. This is too woke for me. Why does she have to be the total badass? I don't know. Oh yeah, that's right. Because she is.
Yeah, and she always was.
She always was. Read a fucking book.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like shit like that drove me nuts. Like just hearing like people like the complaints about this show, and it's like, well, elves aren't black. Well, who told you that?
Yeah.
Like, is that written down somewhere? Is that law that a mythical creature can't have dark
color?
skin? I don't know. Doesn't bother me one bit.
Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, it was shit like that like I was just like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's so woke. I can't watch it. Well, then fuck you.
Yeah. Because I'm enjoying the shit out of it.
Right. I don't see the wokeness that you are, and I'm enjoying the shit out of the show.
Yeah. I'm loving the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that show was...
And I thought the season finale was fantastic, and I can't wait for season 2, and I want to see what the fuck's going to happen next, and...
Yeah.
Like,
I want to see what shit Gandalf gets into.
Yeah. Yeah, him and that little Harfoot.
Yeah.
What kind of shit are they going to get into?
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff.
Right.
And like a lot of money invested in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it shows.
I love that baddie with the fucking dipping her hands in the fire and fucking napalming stuff. I was like,
yeah.
That is like, why isn't there more fantasy shit with stuff like that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I want to see that kind of shit.
Right.
That was awesome.
It was. I was like, oh, fuck. And the best part was, like, it looked so fucking good. Like, the fire in her hand
Yeah.
looked, like, I've seen shitty fire effects before.
Yeah.
This looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, if that was computer-generated fire, which I'm sure it was, it looked really fucking good.
Yeah.
And I can't. Fantastic series. I can't wait for season 2.
Yeah, me too. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
The Balrog boy.
On the other side of the spectrum is the House of the Dragons.
I haven't watched any of it.
Haven't you?
I haven't watched Game of Thrones since the girls became big.
Okay.
I just haven't gotten to it. Is it good?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There is so much fuckery in this show. Like, it's like, I've reached a point where it's like, well, who's the Ned Stark of this first season? Well, it's the king. And, like, all this guy wants is for everybody to get along.
Yeah, that's all he wants.
The entire time. Like, and there's, like, you know, there's been two time jumps. So, like, you jump 10 years to, like, you know, now the girls are adults.
Old, yeah.
You know, and then a couple episodes later, there's another time jump of 6 more years.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So basically, this show has covered 20 years, essentially.
Okay.
And, like, there's a character. I don't want to give anything away. But, like, this one guy looks like an evil Matt Smith.
Okay.
Like, it was like, if it was like a Star Trek episode where they went to the mirror universe, this would be like the evil version of Matt Smith.
Okay.
And he's a Tigerian, and he's got the hair, but he's got an eye patch.
Okay.
You know, and he's got the, like, you look at him, and I mean, the way they look, I mean, he's a complete and total bad motherfucker.
Okay.
You know, but like, but the way shit goes down in this show, it's like, fuck. Like,
he's good?
yeah, well, I mean, like,
he's a good character.
Yeah, I mean, so far, he's only been in, like, I mean, I just want to say, like, when you get to, like, the first episode he appears in, like, I just want you to look at him and go, like, yeah, he looks like a fucking evil version of Matt Smith. Like, honestly, it's the only way I can describe it. And I don't want to get into, like, who he is or how he got the iPad, because you find that all out. But, like, it's worth the watch.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I don't know if you fell out of it because you just, like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. But, like, I would say it's worth the time to catch up with.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, one, Matt Smith is so fucking good.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, even later on.
Even later on, he's still so fucking good. And, like, what's happening, it is interesting. Like, it is, but it's so much just complete and total fuckery from everybody. Like, every single person is trying to play 3D chess, and meanwhile the king is still playing checkers and doesn't care.
Yeah.
You know, and
any more fighting and stuff? And dragons.
Dragons play a big part in one episode, yeah.
Okay.
You know, I think the war is coming.
Yeah.
Like, I think, like, the next, like, the last 2 episodes, I think, are going to be the fighting that you're looking for.
Yeah.
But I this has kind of all been just lead up to getting us. Because at the end of the day, I don't think any of the characters that we've been watching thus far are the characters that that are going to take us through the next few seasons. I think it's their children.
Really?
Yeah. Like, these 2 girls, I don't think this is their story. I think they're just this is like the prologue to, like,
To get to the Mad King and all that shit?
Eventually, yeah.
Interesting.
So, like, it's like an odd it's an odd thing where I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself like, I don't think any of these characters actually matter at the end of the day.
Even Matt Smith?
Maybe Matt Smith, because he's Matt Smith.
Yeah.
You know, but like, I think the real story is going to be with the two girls, the princess and the queen, their children.
I see.
And they set that up in the past couple of episodes. So.
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't have more to add. I just don't.
No, I understand. You haven't watched. You haven't had time. You've been busy. Mm-hmm. Can't watch everything.
Yeah, I was.
The other thing I watched the season finale was this week was She-Hulk.
Really? How was that?
It was weird.
Oh, God.
Well, it's that same thing we just talked about with Halloween. I applaud them for trying to do something different with the finale. Mm. It just was a thud for me. Because they've set up this whole thing. They spend the entire season kind of setting up with this whole thing. You know, she goes full on Rage Hulk at a public event, and you know she's put in jail, and you know, but like she reaches a point where the ending is becoming ridiculous, and even she knows it, and she breaks the fourth wall, and she she breaks the fourth wall. She's like, "Is this what the fuck you wanted?" And the next thing you see is it looks like the Disney Plus page. And she pops out of like the She-Hulk banner, and she goes, "Okay, where do I? Okay, down here, event assemble. That's where I need to go." So she goes down, and she knocks that out. And she goes in, and now she's in the real world.
What?
Yeah, and she's talking to the writers of the show.
Oh, God.
And they're like, "Well, that's what Kevin wants." And she's like, "Well, I'll go talk to Kevin then." Well, it turns out Kevin is a artificial intelligence that creates Marvel movies. And she convinces Kevin to change the ending, and you know, and so at the end it goes back, and this is what you get. But
that's more of a Deadpool thing.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, like She-Hulk does break the fourth wall in the comic books, but at the same time, like I was just like, you're trying to do something completely different than any other show or any other Marvel property, and I applaud you for that. But this is just a thud for me because it doesn't work.
Yeah,
you know. And then, you know, the entire time, like the entirety of the show, except for like the first episode or second episode, Hulk's off planet.
Okay. Well,
at the end of the episode, he shows up. Like, yeah, this is my son, Scar. And it is the worst CGI I have ever fucking seen. He looks like he should be in like a 1990s CGI cartoon.
Really?
Oh. I mean, the CGI has been bad in this show the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, She-Hulk does not look good.
Uh-huh.
You know, and like I don't know why. Like, I mean, like spend some fucking money, just a little bit, because the CGI just hasn't been that good. And but like you know, Banner shows up with Scar, and I'm like, first off, what the fuck? You know?
Yeah.
Like we're gonna do this?
Yeah.
You know, we're doing a World War Hulk?
Yeah.
You know? And two, why does he look so fucking bad? You know? But I'm just because like I liked the overall show. Like was it my favorite Marvel show? No. Like, but I still enjoyed it. I liked it for what it was.
Right.
And like the season finale just dropped like a ton of bricks. Like it was just bad. Uh-huh. Like I was really bummed out by this season finale. I was expecting something better.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the best part of it though was the episode with Daredevil.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see like the Disney-fied version of Daredevil at this point, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, right.
You know. I'm very intrigued to see how it works in, when they do the Daredevil show, but overall I wasn't like, I can't believe they did that to Matt Murdock. How dare they? I even dug the costume. The costume has some yellow worked into it.
Really?
Has like the yellow. The helmet's now yellow. His sleeves have a yellow, like old school.
That's the first Daredevil.
Yeah, it's first Daredevil iteration was yellow, but still has like the red on the chest still.
Yeah.
But there's a yellow worked into it, which I was like, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That works for me.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. So overall, like the only way I would tell you to watch She-Hulk is if you're a diehard fan of like Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't regret watching it. The episodes were only like a half hour each. It was entertaining enough. Like, and you get some cool stuff with Banner. You got some cool stuff with Wong. You got some cool stuff with Abomination.
Yeah.
There was some cool stuff thrown in there. Some nice little tidbits. But, cool stuff with Daredevil.
Yeah. Sounds like they're just trying to connect everything.
Well, I think the biggest thing, to me, the biggest thing was the introduction of, like, this is the real MCU introduction of Daredevil. Like, you met Matt Murdock for, like, 2 minutes.
Right.
And, like, if you knew, you knew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there were a lot of people who saw Spider-Man No Way Home and were like, who the fuck's this guy?
Yeah, sure.
Why are you cheering? Why are you laughing?
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like this is like a proper introduction of like, okay, this is who this character is. But, like, overall, like, it was just an okay show.
Yeah.
But the ending just thudded for me.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. That's actually gonna about do it.
Cool. I'm gonna talk about the Steelers.
Well,
Blow up performance. It's okay. We don't have to get into that.
I don't know what's worse, the Steelers or my fantasy football team.
Yeah.
Even though I did get a win last week over Otter. Yeah, I mean, the only good thing is, like, you see promise, you see hope.
It's fun to watch Pickett.
Yeah, like, I mean, in all honesty, like, Kenny Pinkett is not afraid to throw the ball down the field.
No.
Where Trubisky, it was like, you could just see, like, he was just looking underneath, because he doesn't want to make a mistake. Where Kenny's just like, grip it and rip it.
Fuck it.
Yeah, we already suck. I might as well just throw the ball down the field, see what I can do.
Yeah.
So I do like that. But I mean, there's so, like, I don't even want, like, here's how little faith I have in the Steelers. I started Gabe Davis last week against them.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like, thinking with my head and not with my heart, I was like, I think Gabe Davis is going to have a good day. Gabe Davis had a great day,
Yeah.
So that was like one of those things where it's like, I know this defense is bad, and if I have a chance to get a matchup against them, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Right.
I just picked up Tyler Boyd just for that reason.
Yeah.
I know at some point I'm going to be able to put him, I mean, he's a good flex player anyway. Like, I should probably, like, be looking at playing him in the flex this week instead of Alan Lazard. But either way, like, he's a good pickup. But, like, the week he plays the Steelers, he's in the starting lineup.
Yeah. Steelers bad. Anyway. Moving forward.
But the Penguins are good. They're 2-0.
Yeah.
And I saw what EA Sports, they ran their simulation on NHL 23, and the simulation had the Penguins winning the Cup. I don't know how often they're right, but, I'll take that.
Yeah, I'll take it too.
And how impressive would that be? Like, to get, like... Because you got Crosby, Malkin, and Letang. They've been together for 17 years.
Yeah.
You know? Like, to get one more run out of those three guys.
You know, I think that's what this is.
Yeah. But, I mean, like... I mean, these are three guys in the twilights of their career. Mm-hmm. Like, Crosby moved heaven and earth to make sure Malkin got re-signed.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like...
Well, Letang... I think the only thing that saved Letang is Letang had a really good year last year.
Yeah.
He did.
But, and I mean, like, there's something about a defenseman that can run the point on the power play.
Yeah.
You're like, they're worth their weight in gold.
Yeah.
Like, he may not be, like, as great back on defense as he was 10 years ago, 5 years ago. But he can still run the point on the power play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a defenseman that can do that is worth their weight in gold.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's the biggest thing is, like, you know, you need that guy.
Well, he's definitely that guy.
Yeah. But I feel like they've set themselves up for, like, one more run.
I think he had 2 goals last game.
I'd have to look and see, but I think so, yeah. But, like, yeah, I mean, they're just, like, let's just make one more run. And, I mean, and that would be, for those three guys, their 4th cup. They won, you know, they beat Detroit. They went back-to-back, so that's 3 for those 3 guys.
Yeah.
So if they can make one more run, that would be their 4th cup.
Yeah.
And I mean, and they're already doing better than Lemieux and Yager.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, a 4th cup. And, I mean...
I think what's going to get him is goalie.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe defense. I mean, they have the offensive weapons to take them there.
Right. I mean, the thing becomes, like, what, like you always say, like, what's the thing? A goalie can steal a playoff series from you.
Yeah.
You know, you get that guy, you play that hot goaltender, and all of a sudden, you're the 93 Penguins.
Yeah.
You know, going out in the first round.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so, like, you're right. Like, you know, that's always a possibility. And, like, you know, and your goaltending can also kill you.
Yeah.
Because playoff hockey is different from, like, you can go up and down the ice in the regular season.
Yeah.
Playoff hockey, that's ice tightens up.
No, a lot.
Yeah. But, I mean, that one year, Getzel's rookie year, they were so fast on the ice. Like, they won those 2 cups on speed.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And, I mean...
Getz is so good.
He's what gives you hope about the future is he's so good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's a guy.
I don't think people realize how good Getzel is.
I think he gets overshadowed. I think people are like, hey, he's still just a kid. Well, no, he's been around for like 6 or 7 years now.
Yeah, he's a pretty good player.
And, you know, he's on Crosby's line, so he gets overshadowed a little bit by Sid. But, man, he'd be top guy anywhere else in the league.
Yeah.
Damn near, you know.
He's good. For as small as he is, he's like a phenomenal hockey player.
Yeah.
He just
like,
has an eye for the puck and
goal. I mean, those first 2 years, those first 2 years, like when he won those 2, when they went back to back, his speed was a definite difference maker.
Oh yeah.
You know, like, it was amazing watching him.
His ability to find a way to get the puck in the net's just amazing.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
The kid's, I say kid, but he's just a good hockey player.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, that's enough sports talk.
Yeah, enough.
Anything you'd like to add to the proceedings there, sir?
No, I'm good.
Well, remember, there are a number of different ways you can reach out and touch us. You can send us an email like Thad does each and every week. He did not visit a haunted house this week. He was at a Marion Ross convention, he says. I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
But you can send us an email like Thad does each and every week, and that email address is pittsburghnerd@yahoo.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. We're very, very easy to find. And as always, we want to thank you for your support each and every week. We can't thank you enough. for taking the time to check us out and give us your support.
Yeah.
So be a friend, tell a friend. And on that note, the dreamer has awakened.
Peace.